Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Subculture Live. I am Sammy Joe, and I have a very special guest tonight. I have Michael Wittig, and he is going to talk about he's going to really talk about the business behind health and fitness and natural bodybuilding. He's going to give you guys some good information. He has been at this, and he's successful at it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in.
Hey, what's up, Sammy Joe? Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes. So first of all, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Absolutely. So I am Michael Wittig. I'm based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm a 46-year-old father of four. So we have four children, me and my wife, and a busy, crazy family. I am a natural pro, 8-time champion, going for 9 and 10 later this year. I am an ISSA certified master trainer, a nutritionist. I do acting, so I'm an actor. I've been doing that for several years. I also write and model for a handful of international fitness magazines. And I have a strong marketing background, and that's why I'm here today. I have been a head of marketing for some companies in the past. I've done a lot of marketing consulting for big corporations and individuals, and I love trying to help people and sharing that. That's why I'm here today. So I want to I have a lot of friends going to watch this and fellow competitors that I haven't met yet. My goal with this is to help you guys grow, to help educate you with what I know about marketing and making a successful career in fitness, especially with sponsorships. Because if I can help you grow, I can help natural fitness grow. And that's going to be a win for all of us. It's going to be bigger shows, bigger payouts, bigger exposure. And I just want to help the natural fitness organizations grow as a whole.
I love that. Same, I do too. And I think what you're about to share with everybody is so valuable, and everybody can take something away from what you're going to be teaching us tonight, and even myself. So I'm super excited about this episode. We are streaming on YouTube and Facebook. You guys feel free to join in the live chat. And we are going to answer questions as we go, and definitely going to get to all the questions at the end. All right. So you mentioned, wow, you have a background in marketing. How valuable is that as you entered your fitness career? How did you apply that?
So it helped a lot. So I've always kind of had that mindset. I think I got it from my parents and did some college with marketing, but a lot of it is practical, real life experience. I was in a band at a younger age. I've always loved music and fitness. Those have been my
Mm-hmm.
two loves since high school. The music career took off first, though. I was in a Christian rock band called Pillar that did very well, and it was kind of my crash course into big corporate, business and marketing, because we had publicists, managers, agents, labels, and I was the business guy in the band who did a lot of the early booking, management, and promoting shows, booking shows. So I learned the hard way on the road. And that's where I started getting sponsorships. So was with the band, with Fender and the big music companies. So when I
Right.
got off the road, we all had a bunch of kids and stopped touring. Um, and then I started my second passion, which was in life, which was fitness. And everything I learned with the band, I applied to fitness from day one to help. Yes, I love training people in the gym early on. It was a lot of fun, but my goal was always to try to reach hundreds of thousands of people.
Wow. Yeah. So at what did you do? Like, obviously you have reached so many people in the fitness industry. How have you done that? How have you accomplished that? What
So
would you
before
tell
we
or
get
what
into
would you
all this,
tell everybody?
well, before we get into all this, I want to say that first of all, I want to be transparent. I'm not rich, guys. I'm not here rolling in a mansion. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. I'm able to do what I love to help provide for my family and make a living at it. Um, we have a nice middle class home and just normal. We're normal. So I don't want people to think that I'm trying to put off that I'm rolling, because I'm not, but I'm blessed. I also want you to know that my way is not the only way. Some of you guys are probably doing things that I do better than me. You might have better content on social media. You might have a better sponsorship here or there. So I'm not trying to say I'm better than any of you guys at all. I just want to share today with what's worked for me. I feel very blessed. I have some awesome sponsorships, some awesome partnerships, and I'm just here to share that with you guys and to help if I can.
I love it. So,
So we
so
can get right into it.
yes,
So
let's get right into
the,
it.
the so the first thing, if you guys want to have a successful fitness career, basically doing what you love and make a living at it, my first bit of advice is to have multiple streams of income. I know a lot of you are probably personal trainers or did that at some point. That's how I started out. I'm with the ISSA. I still am, even though I don't train people in the gym anymore. So you might be a personal trainer. Okay, now everybody's doing online training. I still do that with VIP clients worldwide. That's always a great source of income if you know how to do it. And that's a topic on itself, doing successful online training. Another thing I got into early on was writing ebook programs. And it's been very successful for me. So if you're a good trainer, if you know how to program, the good thing about ebook programs is you can spend a couple weeks, spend a couple months, put together a solid program. You can put it on your website in the Kindle store by yourself, and you can make income on those for years. I still get PayPal notices from books I wrote 6 years ago on a daily, weekly basis. So it's an easy source of income. You can cross promote your sponsors in your ebooks. You can promote your social media in your ebooks, and you can just keep selling them. So I have about 10 to 12 very successful best-selling trainers that are available on my website through the Kindle store. Sometimes I'll write a trainer specifically for a sponsor that's available exclusively through that sponsor. They help push it. They may come up with a certain deal for me that to in exchange for that ebook program. But there's a lot you can do with that. It's a way to express your programming skills, but continue to make money for years to come. And then there's what we're talking about today, social media and sponsorships. You can make, some of you guys are probably already making income from social media and sponsorships. And I'm just here to share how to do that at another level, at a bigger level.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I when I go through your social media account, like your IG account, it is very well done. It's well thought out, quality images, quality video. How important is that when you're looking for like a sponsorship?
It's highly important, and not just Instagram, but as many of the platforms that you can handle. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing I'm going to talk about today when it comes to building your social media, because it is important. With sponsorships, you're a part of their marketing department. Basically, like instead of a TV ad or radio ad or print ad, it's you. It's your social media. It's your personality. It's your content. It's what you bring to the table. And right now, that's social media in this day of age. So having a social media platform that's built up that represents you is very important. Now, there's no one way to do that. The first thing I want to say is you don't have to compete. You don't have to be a fitness champion to have sponsorships. Okay, I compete, and you guys probably compete because we love it. It's fun. We enjoy to do it. I had sponsorships before I ever stepped on stage. Now it's
Wow.
just part of my story, one small part of my big story. But you don't have to be a fitness champion to have sponsorships. You don't have to have hundreds of thousands of followers to have sponsorships. I started while my social media has grown now, and my Facebook, I'm an older guy, y'all. I'm 46 years old. So I remember MySpace. I used to be working MySpace in the band on a daily basis. And then it was Facebook. So I got in on Facebook early on. I have 1 million followers on my Wittig Works Facebook. I got into Instagram late because I'm old, but I have 100 and some thousand on there now. But Facebook's my biggest social media. You have to build those platforms. Um, Now the thing is, they don't have to be huge though to get sponsorships. I had my first sponsorships with maybe between 5 and 10,000 followers. So you have to have some though, because
Right.
remember you're part of their marketing department. So you have to have a platform. You have to have some followers. But more important than the number of followers is the number of people who care that engage with you, that you're connected with. So your goal with social media is to produce great content that connects with people because the connection is more important than the number. That's a key point that I want people to remember. So you don't have to wait till you have 1 million followers. You don't have to wait to win the Orton or the IPE or the PNBA championship. You have to focus on engaging and connecting with people. And there's no one way to do that. Everybody's social media page is dependent on the personality. So one thing I always recommend is to define who you are. What is the purpose of your social media page? Okay, so for me, I tried to summarize who I am in one sentence. And it's how I open this podcast or this video interview is I'm a 46-year-old father of four. I'm a natural athlete. I do this health first. I want to be my best at any age. Those are kind of my personal mottos or slogans that I use that carries down to everything I do on social media, my newsletter. That's my focus. So I recommend you to have a focused sentence on who you are. What makes you stand out and what's your purpose? Spend some time on that because it really, and you can change it over time, but that focus statement is going to be the goal of what your social media content is about. I'm not the most handsome. I'm not the biggest guy. I'm not the most cut. A lot of y'all out there beat me on stage. That's not what my focus is to be the best, biggest natural athlete out there. It's I want to help people be healthy at any age. Naturally, health first.
Right, right. And that's a huge audience, and that's a fantastic audience to have. So, one quick question: when you refer to sponsorship, what exactly does that entail? I'm sure there's different levels that you're referring to, but for you, in your case, what are some of the sponsorship relationships? Is that, I think right away in the fitness industry, people think of a discount code, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of where they start. So, what's kind of the evolution of a sponsorship in your eyes?
There are multiple levels, and I definitely want to talk about that. I'm going to answer that question next.
Okay.
Right before I get to that question, I want to not get off track with building the platform.
Sure,
So
sure.
some of you guys follow me. Some of you guys might be in Instagram engagement groups with me, and you're going to notice I put out a lot of content. I try to do 2 posts a day.
Wow.
Oh, I know Johnny. What's up, Johnny? He's one of the best out there. That guy is phenomenal. I was honored to step on stage with him at the Natural Olympia in 2020. It was great to finally meet Johnny.
Dangerous Jay.
First, Mr. America there, he's phenomenal. But to build your social media platform, people might get overwhelmed with what they see me do on a daily basis. The
Sure.
thing I want to stress is you don't have to do what I do at the volume that I do. I didn't
Right.
start out doing what I do, what you see now. It's not how I started. So with social media, you need to have great content. You don't have to have professional pictures every time. Just do the best that you can. But think about what your posts are. How can you engage with people? Some people, for me, I'm not an influencer. People might think I am at this point because I have sponsors, but you know what? I built what I have because I'm an educator first. That's me. I'm an ISSA master trainer, nutritionist. So I started off educating and I still try to do a lot of that. I write for magazines. I try to post at workouts. Think about what your angle are. You may be an educator. You may be really funny. I'm not that funny. Some of you guys think of hilarious stuff. You might be a funny guy. You might be a great dancer. You might be the best pro natural athlete out there. And some of you guys are. I'm friends with some of you guys, and you're some of the best I've ever seen. So your content's based about what you bring to the table, and it could be a couple of those things. So go with the content that's going to engage with people. But how many posts you need to do a day? It's not what I do. I didn't start here. It's just like you're working out. What's the best time to work out? How many times a week is the best? The answer to that question is always, what can you be consistent with? It's the same with social media. So post at a frequency that you can be consistent with. That may be once a day. That may be 3 times a week. Go with that. Don't stress out trying to do multiple posts every day if it just causes you mental anguish. I want you to
Right.
be mentally healthy too. We do this for health,
Right.
and I want you to stay mentally healthy. So post at a frequency that is you can do consistently. Doesn't matter if it's twice a week. Be consistent at that. As things build like they did with me, and I got a bigger following, bigger sponsorships, more income for my family, I was able to do more. So now I'm able to do a lot on a daily basis. I put a lot of time into it, but it makes sense for the situation I'm in right now. So
Right.
that's something I really wanted to touch on because people get overwhelmed because they see what I do. You don't
Right.
have to do that. Be consistent. Now you asked a great question. There's a lot of different sponsorships out there. The one I want you guys to avoid are the ones that these smaller companies that are spamming all of us. A lot of that is a trick. You have to pay money to get in. They want you to buy a product. That is not a sponsorship. That is a marketing ploy for them to make money for their company. So avoid those. The kind of sponsorship you want are the products that you buy now. Think about that. It's not about getting free product. That doesn't work. Okay. You want to go after companies that you believe in, that you use, that you buy, that you'll pay money for. Like my supplement sponsor, Caged. Let's say I
Mm-hmm.
run out of something. I don't go buy a different brand because it's cheaper. I'll run down to GNC or Vitamin Shop and buy that brand because it's what I use. It's what I want. And that's the kind of sponsorships you go for. People ask me that all the time. Michael, what about this sponsorship? I'm like, well, do you wear that clothing? No, but they're offered to give me free stuff. Don't go after those. Go after sponsorships. Start with the ones that you use and you buy. That's the most important. And once you talk to that company, yes, there's a lot of levels. There's affiliates, there's ambassadors, there's full athletes on salary with contracts, and there's different names for each of those levels. On the lowest level, which is basically an affiliate or maybe an ambassador, you
Mm-hmm.
get a discount code. Okay, now at the lowest level, you should get X amount of free product, be it supplements or apparel. You should, out of the gate, 5,000, 10,000 followers, anywhere in that range. Maybe not with the most elite company in the world, but a pretty solid company that you like. So my first apparel sponsorship was not Rider Wear. I've been with them over 7 years now. Kai Green's with them, some of the biggest athletes in the world. I've been with them for a long time. But before that, before I knew they existed, I was with a company called Extreme Rush. I don't even know if they're in business anymore, but I liked their stuff. I loved it. I loved wearing it. I got some free stuff, and I got a discount code that I earned commission on. That's where you start. Be prepared to start there and be okay with that
Mm-hmm.
because you need to be in for the long haul. Building your social media, building sponsorship relationships are not overnight. We don't deserve them. We have to earn these. We have to earn these, and it takes time. So when I started, I was getting some free product. I was earning my keep through commission sales. And how I grew that to now I'm on contracts with salary, monthly salaries, tons of free product. I mean, I'm getting free food,
Wow.
meal prep, free supplements, free clothes. I haven't bought shoes and clothing in 7 years. I got so many shoes I have to give them to friends. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying this is not overnight. This took me 7 years of constant grinding to get to that level. Then from there, from the affiliate level, then it goes up to where they might pay you monthly money. It may be low at first. You may start off at $100, $300, $500 a month plus commission. That's a good place to be. And
Yeah.
those salaries can go up to thousands to $1,000 a month plus free product plus commission. And some of the elite level athletes that you guys look up to, some of those contracts, because I've also had the job of being an athlete manager for several companies. So I've been on both sides of the coin. I'm an athlete myself with multiple companies on salary contracts, but I've also been athlete manager where I've signed athletes to major companies. So I know how both sides of it work. Some of those guys make a lot of jack. Like you'd blow your mind how much can be made with social media.
Wow.
So those are the different levels. Do you have any questions about that, Sammy Joe, before I
Well,
keep rattling on?
yeah, I just have one question. So you mentioned like salary, right? Like, so you're getting, your commission, you may get some, free goods from the company, and then you get a salary. When you're at that point, what is expected of you to earn, say, a monthly wage or a monthly fee? Like, what is expected of you as the athlete?
That's a great question. Um, so I follow those rules, and I've
Mm-hmm.
also been the one to set those rules for athletes as an athlete manager for certain companies. So first of all, they expect you to post X amount of times, and that will be dependent on the company. There's no really standard for this. There's a lot of ways it can go, but you'll
Okay.
be expected to post X amount of times a week or X amount of times a month. Okay, and they expect people to use your code. So
Mm-hmm.
here, brings up an important subject. If you getting a sponsorship's one thing, keeping it's a whole nother animal. It's like that's where you start. Once you get it, then it starts because you have to be able to keep it. And it's just like any other job, and it really follows Dwayne Johnson, The Rock's kind of mentality. Okay, be the friendliest person to work with. Be the friendliest athlete that they've ever worked with. Be quick to response. Whatever they tell you to do, post once a week, twice a week. Whatever they say, over deliver. Give them the best content they've ever seen. Always try to improve, upgrade your phone, upgrade this. And we'll talk about other things that you and I talked about before we went live about photo shoots and stuff. Don't let me forget about that. But
Yes.
over deliver. If they say post twice a week, post every day. If they say post twice a month, post every week. Be the guy that or the lady that stands out, that over delivers. My goal when I partner with a company is to be the best athlete they've ever worked with within a short period of time. And I've done that. And I don't mean best by I'm the best person. I mean by I'm the easiest to work with. I produce more content, which ultimately helps me push my code and impress them with my code usage.
Yes.
You know, you could do the minimum. You could do the minimum. And I've signed some great athletes that have millions of followers to companies expecting to have my mind blown. They do the minimum. They'll post twice a month. Nobody will use their code. I'm talking about guys, you know, IFBB guys with millions of followers. No conversions. So when you get in this business, sales is conversions. That's what they call it. No conversions. So you want to be hungry for it. You want to impress them. I'll post on you guys, if you follow my story, you're probably annoyed by it because I post a lot of the same things every day, but it's for the frequency. You know, right. I'm not talking about to the athletes, but for followers that are looking to learn, they're not watching our social media every day, every second. So I post a lot of this workouts, a lot of that same stuff, knowing that the person may tune in just one day of the week. I don't want them to miss it. Right. And I could talk about that So to fulfill that posting frequency that your sponsor may ask, you have to post enough for it to make sense. So there's a strategy of why I post 2 times every day. Okay, if you look at my page, and again, this is not the only way. This may not be the best way. This is the way that works for me. Right. Is I have enough sponsors that if I did not post my workouts or inspiration posts on a daily basis, my whole page would be just sponsors. It'd trash. It'd be spam, and I can't do that. So I have enough sponsors that I have to post a workout or an inspiration on a daily basis so I can alternate a sponsor post with education, with helping somebody. Sponsor, something to motivate and feed into people. So depending on how many times your sponsor asks you to post, your personal posting frequency needs to be enough to make sense. So yes. Think about this. If I'm an athlete manager and you come to me and want to be a part of my team, I look at your page and see that you post once a week. That don't make sense for me because you don't post enough to help my company, or your page would be spam. So if you want to be attractive to sponsors, you have to have enough frequency. And I'm not saying you have to post twice a day. Again, right. Do what you can do consistently. But you have to have enough weekly posting frequency that you can keep your audience, keep them engaged, and still promote the sponsor, and your page not be a big spammy advertisement.
Right. And that makes perfect sense because it goes back to what you said earlier, which is about conversion and building some type of relationship with your followers. And just seeing a product over and over, you using a product over and over, isn't enough of a reason for them to buy into you or buy into your brand or the platform that you're trying to build. So that makes perfect sense. So whatever your frequency is, look to really beef it up if you do have a sponsor, because you got to keep the personal stuff in there because that's what people want to see. And I'm really guilty of that. When I do post like food or things like in my daily life, they want to know. They're like, this is the stuff we like, Sammy. Post more of this. And I don't. I'm very strange about that. Because it takes a lot of extra effort and time. And I don't have any sponsors or any requirements that are asked of me. But that makes such good sense. I'm glad you brought that up. And that
you want to start small.
Yeah, that really
with what you can do, and then build it when you're able to. Yeah. Don't stop doing what you're doing that started what attracts people already.
Right.
Don't stop doing that. You have to keep doing that for your sponsorship advertisements to work.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, when you want to over deliver, which means I always over deliver, which means I have to have a lot of content to be able to over deliver at a quality level.
You know, another thing you had mentioned is sometimes it's not about being a champion or about shows that you won. A lot of it is, for me, I think people want to learn something when they're on your page, or they want to get something out of it, or when they're following you. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of athletes miss that. You know, they're posting just, I won this, I did this. People need more of a reason to buy into you,
exactly.
Right? Than just being a champion. What can you do for me? Like, what are you going to share with me that draws me in?
Exactly. That's a good point. You want them to know you're a champion, okay? It's not bragging.
Right.
You accomplish something great. you need to let people know. That's always something that I've done with my weekly newsletters. Hey, if something great happens and nobody knows about it, it doesn't really help you when it comes to business and growing a brand. So do let them know about your accomplishments, but engage with people. If you are a pro champion or just a fitness pro, chances are you know how to work out. You know techniques. You know things about diet and nutrition and shopping. And a lot of you do that because I follow a lot of you guys and I look at what you're doing. I make time for that. You're friends of mine. I look up to a lot of you guys. You inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing because I got to keep hustling so y'all don't catch up to me on when it comes to this stuff. So I'm following you guys. And some of you do it great. Some of you do certain things better than I do, and that's awesome because I'm learning from you guys. But use your skills to help educate people to engage with them. You may be funny. You may be great with nutrition. You may be a great master trainer. You may be good at posing, like my guy Eric Murphy, who's one of the best posers I've seen. And he could teach people how to pose on his posts, and he does. So there's a way to engage with people and balance out your sponsorships, and it's about the frequency. What's up, Keith? I love Keith. He's a great ambassador for natural fitness across the board. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting him in person yet or competing with him, but I hope to someday.
Yes. So I agree with everything that you just said about, sharing little things with your viewers. They will pick it up and they will appreciate it. And then in return, they will use your discount code or they will help you climb up that ladder. So we talked about a little bit about your background. We talked about your goal, which is really just to help grow the natural bodybuilding community because everybody wins, right? As we grow and more exposure comes to the individual athletes, it comes to the shows, it comes to the promoters, everybody grows, right? Everybody wins. And helping people at any age as well. That's something that I know that's really important to you. And you kind of touched on how to build a platform, right? Define yourself, guys. What is it, kind of like your personal mission statement, right? Like people want to know, like what, like me, it's an open book. We know what you are all about. And then the sponsorships. And now you had mentioned with yourself multiple streams of income, ebooks, right? Mm-hmm. So right now, what would you say?
Each one on its own is enough.
What are your top multiple forms right now for sponsorships, just so people can kind of visualize and get an idea?
Oh, for sponsorships. Okay. So, and that is my of the multiple streams of income, my biggest one is sponsorships right now.
Wow.
It allows me to go to the gym for several hours, which I love to do. You don't have to work out several hours a day. You all know that. I just love it. I love working out. I love suffering. I love pain. I'm sick in the mind like some of you guys. I love to be in the gym for hours. I'm able to do that because my sponsors, but I'm not just in there. I'm in there working. Every workout I do gets filmed. There's photograph. I'm constantly coming up with things to share with people. So I'm in the gym for a long time, but my sponsorships and the effort I put in 7 years allows me to do that. I didn't start out that way, but it allows me to do that now. Something that I didn't talk about yet is how do you get the sponsorships? Okay, I talked about going after ones that you believe in. There's two ways that happens. One, you're doing such a great job that they reach out to you. Okay, I've had that happen. The most common way is you do reach out to them. Okay, so the number one, it's not a trick, but the number one method that you want to do, let's say you want to go for Caged. I'm with Caged for my supplements. I've been with them over 7 years. I'm with Riderwear for apparel and shoes. I've been with them over 7 years. Nutrition Solutions is one of my newer ones for meal prep. It's been about 1.5 years because I was with a meal prep company before that for many years. Mm-hmm. And during COVID, they shut down and switched to catering. So I needed a new company. I have friends that are with Nutrition Solutions. I've always kind of wanted to partner with them because I think they're the best. They've been amazing. I'm with S-Force Watches. I've been with them. They used to be called Swole O'Clock. I've been with them for over 7 years. And one of my newer ones, it's been I love it. Swole O'Clock. They're called S-Force now, over 7 years. Amazing company. And then the other one, it's a newer one. It's been about 2 years, which is one of my healthiest sponsorships is Manscaped. The body grooming that you've seen in Target, you've seen on TV. That's one of my bigger ones. And I have some other ones as well. I have Elite Pro CBD. It can go on and on. My core ones are the 5 that I mentioned.
Okay.
Um, Now, how do you get them though? They reach
Right.
out to you, or you reach out to them. Manscaped reached out to me about two
Okay.
years ago. I was pleasantly surprised. What did I do? I over delivered and got a been with them ever since, and it's only grown. It's been amazing. But they reached out to me. I over delivered. Riderwear, I reached out to them 7 years ago because I saw an advertisement of Kai Green in their shoes. I
Okay.
have chronic feet problem. My feet hurt all the time. I thought the shoes looked cool and I needed a solution because my feet hurt. So I bought a pair for $100 and some dollars. I loved them. My feet felt better. I bought a second pair. I started doing posts about Riderwear. And then I reached out to him with a well placed email, which we can talk about this time or later.
Right.
At first, you know what? They gave me the note that said, you know what, I'm so sorry, we're not adding to our team right now. Having been around, that's AKA for no. We don't want you on our team. You're not ready yet. Okay, I took that with stride
Right.
and I kept posting. I kept posting. Uh, Sometime within the next year, they reached out to me. They probably don't remember me reaching out to them, but they
Right.
saw my post. I didn't give up because I truly liked the product. I bought it and I kept my best promotions sharing how they're helping me. And I didn't spam it. I posted my education, my workouts, love these Riderwear shoes, and I kept posting. They eventually reached out to me and offered me an entry level deal, which is, I'll just be honest, X amount of free product every month, which was awesome, and
Right.
a code to earn commission. Okay, um, I have not bought clothes in shoes 7 years since that deal. And over time, it turned into a good financial deal as well on the commission side.
I
Caged
love it.
Muscle, I was with a brand called Cellucor before them. They're a big brand. They're in Walmart's. They're everywhere. I had a very basic deal with them because this was early on in my career.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but once I started learning more and educating myself, I didn't feel good about the ingredients and recommending it to my friends. So I stepped out of Cellucor myself and researched and came across Caged, Chris Gethin in Cage. I don't know if you guys know him. He's one of the elite trainers in the world. He's in India right now training one of their most famous action athletes for months right now. He's a world-class trainer, bodybuilding.com, the man. Him and some other guys started Caged Muscle at the time. Now it's just Caged. And I read about the ingredients and I was in. So I reached out to them because I wanted to be with that company. I bought product. I was using it. I reached out to them and it worked. They were excited to bring me on at an entry level, free product and a code. I over delivered. I worked my A off. 7 years later, I'm in a very good situation now with a monthly salary. I'm one of their premier athletes. I'm a part of photo shoots. I'm doing trainers with them. It's just an amazing relationship, but it started at the level with me eating at the bottom level with the code and had to work for it.
Wow. Yeah.
So they reach out to you, or more than likely, you're going to reach out to them with a very friendly, well placed, focused email. Make those friendlies email. Hello, thank them sincerely. Don't go on in a book. Don't brag. Explain who you are and what you bring to the table.
Right.
And what you bring to the table is what you've built on social media is your connections with people.
Mm-hmm.
In your story, you might be a champion, you might be a trainer, you might have been this and that. Explain your story, explain what you bring to the table, and they're going to say yes or no. If they say no, don't give up. If you truly believe in the product, keep posting, keep promoting. They might call you back like Riderwear did to me. Riderwear has Kai Green, Big Ramy at some point was with them. I mean, some of the biggest athletes in the world. And then there's me, Michael Wittig. I'm just lucky to be there. You don't have to be the greatest in the world, the buffest, the most cut. You just have to work and be able to engage with people. That's what it comes down to, is just be able to relate with people and engage with them at your own level.
I like it. Yeah. Now, when you say just, keep pushing, even if they say no, are you like tagging these companies? Like, how do they know that you are, still promoting, or is that what you're doing? Like tagging them in all the
Yeah,
posts
yeah.
and,
So
and
yes, and be
go ahead.
exactly, and do it tastefully.
Okay.
Don't be the guy that tags him. And if I look at your Instagram page, let's say Cage Muscle, Every post is cage muscle. It's just like a spam in your face. Don't be
Right.
desperate. Don't be
Right.
desperate. Do what you do. Engage, educate, make people laugh. Sprinkle in your promotions tastefully.
Right.
Okay? Quality content, so great images. They don't have to be pro photographer images, but nowadays, do get the new iPhone or the new Samsung or whatever's out there. I have iPhone myself, but I know the other Androids have awesome photographs. Keep your phone updated so you can use that portrait mode and have a great photo for no money.
Yeah.
And then give information and then tastefully tag them. Right now, you may not be making money off it. It's an investment. We
Yeah.
don't deserve nothing. We have to earn it. It don't matter if you're the world champion. I didn't deserve none of this stuff. I had to earn it too. You know, you have to post and invest your time, invest into yourself. You know what?
Yes.
Early on, I paid for my own photo shoots because I needed my content was here and I wanted to look up here. So I invested in myself to help grow my platform, to help me get sponsorships, and it paid off. It works. Now at this point, once you have sponsorships, so not only are you getting product, you're making money for your family, it opens up your time to train and do what you love. It helps you with two other things specifically as a natural athlete. Number
So,
one, yes,
hmm.
ma'am.
No, well, I was gonna ask. So you spoke about upping the quality of content that you put out. Whether it's buying the latest iPhone or booking photo shoots. You've also been in magazines, and I know that was one of the things that we had discussed that you were going to touch on was how do you get the attention of like big media, and how did you get these opportunities? I've seen you on news shows, I've seen you in magazines, I've seen you, all over the place. So, what are some of those secrets too? In addition to the
Absolutely. That now
sponsorships.
that's a whole nother subject, and we're going to talk about it right now. And then, if any of you guys out there enjoy, and if any of this information is helping you, this is just one small topic of all the stuff that's up in here in my brain that I can share with you guys here on Subculture. Um, Basically, I'm an educator. Okay, I am a trainer first. I have 12 published programs. Some of them are on Kindle. Some of them are best selling and have sold thousands of copies. I started doing ebook programs early on. I've done some for some Caged and some of my other sponsors. I'm a writer. I like to write. When I was in a rock band, so we didn't touch about that. My background is crazy, guys. I
Rock
was in a rock
band.
band that toured the world. We were Grammy nominated,
That's
got a gold
awesome.
record on my wall. We've sold about 1 million records total. Look it up, Pillar. We're Christian rock. You can check it out on YouTube. I done that. I've done that. Besides all the fitness stuff that a lot of you guys know, I'm also an actor. I've been doing that a lot for the last couple years. My acting started though with modeling, fitness modeling
Okay.
specifically. I did started doing some fitness modeling. Got hired by a couple companies. Enjoyed it. Hey, I made some money for my family, so I rolled with it. That eventually led to acting work for movies, TV, commercials, all that kind of stuff. The magazines started with my love for writing. Magazines are becoming a thing of the past. We're late to the train, guys. You know, if we were doing this in the 80s and 90s, it was a huge thing.
Right.
Magazines are almost a thing of the past. They will all be digital soon. A lot of our fitness favorites have already become digital in the last couple years, especially during COVID.
Yes.
Expect that trend to happen. Well, soon there'll be no physical magazines. They'll all be digital. So that's just the way it is. Um, Gone are the days where you looked great and got on the cover just because you looked awesome. There's still some of those opportunities out there, but it's very few and very hard to get. How I was able to get into it is I'm a writer. Now, I'm not the best writer in the world. If I didn't have editors, it'd be a mess. I need people to check my spelling and my grammar. I do my best at it, but I do like to write. I learned that skill from being in the band. I blogged. We'd go on 2 month tours. You know, we used to travel 200 days a year, and I did a lot of our blogging for our website and our fan base. And if I put all my blogs in a book, that book would be about this thick. I wrote so much, so I
Wow.
was used to writing about the day and making it entertaining as I could. So I wanted to write for fitness magazines. I'm a certified trainer. I love writing, so let's do it. I didn't know where to start, so when there's something I don't know how to do, I have when I didn't know how to do music, when I didn't know how to be a competitor, when I didn't know how to write, I asked somebody that does. So I'm a believer in surrounding yourself with professionals that are where you want to be. My best friends are up here, are better than me in every level. One of my best friends competition wise is Eric Murphy. Me and him came up together. He's the reason it took me an extra year to get my pro card because I came in to him second 2 times in a row is when we were amateurs. Still one of my good friends today. Corey Tibbs, who just beat me a couple weeks ago, one of my best friends. So my peers are better than me in everything I do. When I didn't know how to write for magazines, I went to somebody that was doing it already, and that was Chris Gethin. He was the editor at bodybuilding.com, magazine covers, articles, and I was with his company, and I was up in Boise where he lives doing some work with him. And Chris, I want to start writing. How do I do it? What do you recommend? He gave me some pointers. So the first thing I do is I research. Who are the magazines out there? What's out there? I don't even know. I started researching. I just made a list. And now I didn't have time to do this. My day was already busy. So what did I do? It's what you all do to pursue fitness. You make time. So instead of getting up at 5 a.m., for about a year, I woke up at 4 a.m. And I used 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. specifically to start researching magazines, where they're at. Once you know where they're at, who do you need to contact? I didn't know, so I got a LinkedIn account. I paid for the upgraded account. My list of research that I did of magazines, I started looking up on LinkedIn, making a list of contacts of the editors and the writers. I started reaching out to them. Hello, blah, 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 blah. Maybe out of the 50 people I messaged, a handful reached back out to me. That's okay. I only need one of them. I only need one of them to let me in. And I had one or a couple let me in. I started making friends with writers, with editors, and they gave me a shot. So if you want to start writing, now here's the thing is I write, but then I have the photos to back up my articles.
Right.
In the old days, they didn't do that. You were Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they wanted your cover on the cover. You didn't write the article, though. They had writers, and they used your pictures. So I try to make it undeniable for them. I write the article, and here's my pro photos to go with it. Boom, now I'm a fitness model and a writer, and I'm getting paid in a lot of cases. So just like sponsorships are different levels. You can contribute to magazines, which is where you're going to start. You're going to spend a lot of time writing a great article, and you're going to give it to them for free. So for the exposure, for the relationship, to over deliver, to be the easiest person to work with, that's where you start. And that has led to me for paid opportunities to be on staff for some magazines. And it's led to a lot of opportunities for me. So, and if you don't know how to write, start blogging. That's where I've had people ask me, how do I get into magazines? Have your own website, have a WordPress, start blogging. Do it. Build a body of work. Build the skill, build the habit, build the body of work. When you're ready, then you go to a magazine. You have a body of work to work from. You may already have 20 articles written from your blogs that you've written for years. So before I wrote for magazines, I blogged on my wittigworks.com with my WordPress plugin. I told Sammy, I'm not a tech person. While I do marketing and I've been a marketing director, I have tech people under me. My son helps me tremendously. He's 18 years old and he wants to be a film director. He helps me tremendously. Or I hire somebody to help me. I am not a tech person. I had a friend build a website. A friend put the word plug in, showed me how to use it. And I blogged for years on fitness before I ever reached out to magazines. So now I'm blessed enough. I work with 3 or 4 or more, international, some of them here in the States, some of them are international. And I'm up at 5 a.m. writing articles still, a couple times a month for these magazines because I love to educate. It helps my sponsorships.
Yeah.
It helps my overall brand. Multiple streams of income. It helps the brand. Competing, sponsorships, writing, acting, music. It all feeds into wittigworks.com and it all helps every one of those areas.
Yeah, I could see how it all comes together for you and how each one helps the other.
The only thing it doesn't help, none of that helps me when I'm on stage competing against my friends. None of that helps then. All that goes away. At that point, when you're on stage, it's about the work, and the work day in and day out, and you being prepared on stage. But the stage does help my story with everything else, though.
Yes, it does. It's the happy ending. It's the the stage is like building the camaraderie. It's the pictures, right? Winning the championships. You're 8-time champion. I mean, that's well accomplished. Since 2017, you've been competing in natural organizations. So, I mean, you hit the ground running, right?
I started late in life. I think
Yeah.
I forget. It was 2016 was my first amateur show.
Was it? Okay.
With the NA and BF IPE here in Oklahoma. I
Nice.
actually did an NPC show first in 2016 because I didn't know about natural fitness. Didn't even know y'all existed. So I
Right.
did the NPC show here in Tulsa.
Same.
Got my ass handed to me. Got my ass handed to me. Now I felt like I was respectable on stage though. I didn't
Right.
come in look like a chump. It was respectable, but I got whooped because everyone was huge. I
Right.
didn't realize that there was natural fitness organization. So in the day was done. It wasn't a how they run the natural shows where they're normally you're done by lunch. What do they call that? They're just going one
Straight
show.
through. Straight
NPC,
through.
yeah, the NPC don't do that. You're there early in the morning. You're there for hours and hours. You go home, then you come back. By the end of the day, I was exhausted, burned out, unhappy, never wanted to do it again. But then I heard about natural fitness. And here in Tulsa, in Oklahoma City, there was only the NA and BFIP that I knew about at the time. Now the OCB comes here, and I just didn't know. I was learning back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So I did several NA and BF shows with Eric Murphy. We came up together. He was still the best poser back then in 2016, 2017. Lost to him twice. He got his pro card. I did 3 natural shows that I lost at. I came in second 3 times in a row. My wife was like, almost, okay, you about done with this because it's hard on the family. You all know.
It
And then
is.
on my third show, I heard there was one the next week in Arkansas. I told my wife, one more chance, one more chance. I went out there. I got cutter. I dug in. I suffered, and it was an A and BF show in Arkansas. It was a big show. A lot of 20-year-olds. I was 39 years old. Maybe I just turned 40. I just turned 40, I think. Against a bunch of 20-year-olds. I was blessed to get first in classic and men's physique that day. Got my pro card. 2 weeks later, I did my first pro show in St. Louis, an IPE pro show. Won that, and then the
And
rest
the
is
rest is
history.
history.
I,
Yeah.
I
The
have
rest
won
is history.
eight championships since then. I would say half masters, half open.
That's
I am
great.
still certain open shows I can still show up and do good. Um,
Yeah.
Now that I'm 46, I probably stick to mostly master shows. The open guys now, y'all, all you guys, Arius Norris, the Eric Murphy, the Showtime, you guys, I can't compete with y'all, and I know that. So I'm
You
not
have the
gonna go in.
Rolodex. You have the Rolodex of names. That's
Yeah, I know who the best are out there, and I respect the hustle, and I know that I'm not at that level. So most of the shows moving forward will probably be masters for me. I'll do select open shows. Um, and just have fun. That's what it's about. I do it. I love hanging out with the competitors. I love making new friends, seeing my old friends, and just enjoying the day. So, and I'll keep competing till it's not fun anymore,
that's what it's about.
which
Just
hopefully will always be fun. Hopefully.
yeah, yeah. Well, I want to thank you. You dropped so much information. I know I'm taking something away from it, and I know the viewers are too. But I also wanted to throw this up there. You actually have written a book. And where is that available? I'm gonna throw it up here really quick. Boom.
So a lot of the topics I talked about today is as a result of questions I get from my friends.
I'm
Okay, this is a
sure.
book how to get sponsorships and keep them. It is on my website wittigworks.com. It is a best-selling book. It is available on Kindle in the Kindle ebook store. Now, I wrote that book because I had so many friends, competitors, or influencers reach out to me. Michael, how in the world do you get those sponsorships? How did you get with that company? How are you in that magazine? And I would answer their questions, but after a while, I was getting so many questions. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write a book. So most of my books are programs or trainers. That's my only non-trainer was that book, and it was because I had so many people messaging me and emailing me on a daily basis on how I do what I do. So I wrote that book. So a lot of my topics are straight out of that book. It's very inexpensive. It's on my website. It has all these topics more and in much more detail. Like I talked about reaching out to sponsorships, writing them an email. Well, I have a
Hmm.
sample email in there, exactly what to say, a sample email. Um, I have more on how to grow your social media. I have more on the types of sponsorships, the ones to watch, to stay away from. And then I go into detail on how to keep the sponsorships. And at the end, I even interviewed athlete managers and company owners on what they're looking for. big companies. The interviews are in there. I reached out to some huge influencers that are much bigger than me on how did you get those? How do you keep them? Chris Gethin gave me some lines in there on and he's top level, and so that's there as a resource. I wrote that not to make money, but as a resource because I was getting so many questions, and that's available on wittigworks.com on in Kindle, and also I don't ever really promote this or talk about it, but I do consulting on a one-on-one basis as well. When I stepped away from working in the corporate world, I did a lot of marketing consulting with individuals, with businesses on how to build their brand, not just in fitness, but on the music industry and just business in general. So if you are at a level and let's say you want more than an ebook and you want personal help on how to build your brand, your business in the fitness industry or whatever, I do private one-on-one consultations, and you can just email me. You can DM me through Instagram or Facebook. Instagram would be better. My one Facebook has 1 million followers, and I can't keep up with those DMs. But email me, DM me through Instagram, and I can talk to you in private about the one-on-one consultations.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to help.
I think it's a huge resource for athletes because if you're going to try to go at this, at least start the right way. You know what I mean? Don't waste your energy doing things that may not take you the avenue that you're looking to go. So start with the knowledge you need right from the get-go, and use your resources wisely, which for most of us is time, right? Use that first one
Yep.
wisely. I love that.
Because I learned a lot of things the wrong way by doing the wrong stuff, by
Right.
wasting time.
Right.
While I researched and talked to people that knew more than me, a lot of it was just me getting in the trenches and just powering. I hear the statement, work smarter, not harder. I try
Yes.
to work smart and work harder. I'm just my mentality is a bulldoze and just go consistently and never stop. But I did a lot of that to no avail and wasted time. But that's how I learned.
I love it.
And I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day. I don't know everything.
You're
There's
hired.
one last thing I
No.
want to say. One last thing I want to say then to wrap all this up. How can this help you tangibly as a natural competitor? I'm going to tell you that when I compete, I know y'all don't make that much money. Especially on one-off shows, if you're the champion of the day, you're not making much money. You can make money if you win the Orton. That's pretty big money. Or the World Championships, you're making money. But that's 5 of you guys out there, ladies. That's a handful of y'all out there. Some of you might be watching where you make money at that one show. What if I told you that before I ever leave my house for any competition, even if I win and the first place prize is $500, what if and I know the expenses are heavy. Hey, we got flights sometimes, hotels, tanning, registration. You girls have to spend all kinds of money that us guys don't on your hair and outfits. It's crazy. We spend a lot of money to compete. What if I told you that my goal is to already be thousands of dollars ahead after expenses before I leave the house at every show I do? I'm not going to talk numbers with you, but that's my goal and what I typically make happen. Before I leave the house, I like to be up so it's not a burden on my family. I make money before I leave the house through sponsorships, not just my core sponsorships, but maybe local businesses, maybe family members, maybe friends. Okay?
Wow.
Friends, family, local business, corporate sponsorships. If you do it smart, you can be up after expenses before you leave the house. Then if you win 500, 1,000, 1,500, 10,000, that's just bonus. That's where you can go with this. That's what I try to do now, and I've done for the last several years. I didn't start out there, but I would say since 2020, that's been my situation because of sponsorship, because of social media, and you guys can do it too. And I want you all to do this. I want you to grow personally. I want you to grow together, natural fitness. I want us to be talked about. I want us to
Yes.
be an influence on the young kids out there to know that there's a way to look awesome, to make money, to get the it's not about fame, but some of them want that. But I want them to know that they can do that naturally and not have to take steroids and not have to harm their health. That's
Yes.
why I'm doing this. I know a lot of you are doing it for the same reason. And if we do some of this and grow our platforms, we can make this a reality in a couple years if we all work together.
I believe in that, and I feel like we're making that turn right now in the right direction.
Do we have any questions? I'm here to answer questions. I'm done talking. That's what I have to say. Check out my ebook, wittigworks.com. DM me if you want a private consultation. Otherwise, I know we can do questions here because y'all, I'm
Yes.
in prep too. I'm still in prep and I'm getting hungry.
You're getting hungry. Okay, so let me see here. I do have. It says how do high level pros solicit the real dollar for entry fees and other products? That's the
Okay,
question.
they're talking about elite level athletes. If you're elite level, you have a big base, you're engaged with your people, you reach out to the companies and you get a sponsorship. Okay, once you have one, you have a big show come up, you just ask them. That's what I do.
Okay.
I mean, when I get sponsorships, here's the thing: is you want to work to be their number one guy. You want to build a relationship at the top, regardless what I get in, whatever organizations I compete in, what sponsorships I have, wherever I work. My goal is to know who's in charge. Make friends, make friends. Get to build a relationship with the owners. Build a relationship with the team. Build a relationship with the guy in the mail room. Get to know who they are. So when sponsorships come up, you're not just another athlete to them. You are Corey Tibbs. You are Eric Murphy. You are Showtime. You're a person to them. So when the show comes up, hey, I'm looking to compete at the Natural Olympia. You know what? It's very expensive. It's hard on my family. Would you be able to help support me? And they'll do whatever your sponsor is, whatever your situation is, they'll typically help you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and typically they're not going to pay for everything. One
Right.
sponsor's not going to give you $2,000 to go out to the Natural Olympia. So you
Right.
have multiple sponsorships. Maybe you're going to corporate business, local businesses even. I do
Right.
that. You know, in
Yeah.
2020, I went to friends that own businesses. Hey, here, showed up in my suit. Here's what I'm trying to do. I do natural fitness for this, and this. It's expensive, and I could use some help. Maybe it's just an entry fee. Maybe it's just a tanning. Maybe you're looking for sponsorship just for the hotel. Break it up and
Mm-hmm.
get a sponsor for each aspect to help you cover it.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
expect one company just to give you $1,000 to pay for all your stuff. They're not going to do it,
Right.
you know. But you just ask.
Right. Right. So I think the bottom line here is sponsorships aren't owed to you; they're earned, and a lot of times by building relationships.
Working, building relationships,
Yeah.
being the easiest guy they've ever or lady they've ever worked with,
It's
and
all
over
good stuff.
delivering.
Yeah. Awesome. This was so good. This was so good. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a guest tonight. Thank you to everybody who watched and asked questions and participated. This will be up, obviously for the rewatch. The book is available. I put all of your social links in the descriptions and in the chat so people can just click and find you.
Well,
But
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Again, we'll do something
Awesome. Well, thanks for
again.
having me.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of topics. Like I said,
Oh yeah.
marketing is my background, so there's a lot of things we can talk about, or we could just talk about competing and peak week and all
Oh,
that fun
so
stuff. Whatever you
much.
guys want. I want to thank you for having me. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. For my friends out there, the competitors I haven't met yet that I talk to on social media, people that have no idea who I am though. I just want to say I look up to you guys. I respect your hustle because I know if you're on stage at any degree, you know what I know about you, that you're a hard worker, you're consistent, and you're serious about health. So hats off to you guys. You guys inspire me. Go kill your shows coming up. There's still a handful of big shows and world championships coming up. So I'm rooting for you guys. I'll be cheering for you. And I hope to see some of you guys on stage soon.
Awesome. All right, guys. Bye bye.
See you.